Who says you can't put together the best bass anglers in the universe with the 5th largest city in America? That cheesesteaks and independent tall can't go down perfectly with bass boats and gritty competition. Ah! That folks who love the Eagles, the Flyers, and the Phillies aren't ready to raise the roof for their favorite fishermen. 15 So let's ring the Liberty Bell, cross the Delaware multiple times in search of a winner at the first ever Bassmaster Elite Series in Philadelphia.
You're watching Hooked Up on Bassmaster.com, presented by Toyota.
Toyota's Hooked Up show for the final day in Philadelphia, and when you heard that this tournament was going to be held here, did anyone out there think it wouldn't be about this guy, Michael Iaconelli?
You know, and one of the things that we've talked about all week long, whether it's been you, Tommy Sanders, Dave Mercer, one of the hardest things to do in the world of bass fishing is play on your home playing field and actually show up and perform because of the pressure that you put on yourself. Well, here's the difference here in Philadelphia. The pressure is laid upon you by yourself, most of all, the crowd that lives here. In fact, today is going to be a little different Hooked Up because of that crowd is so out of control. We're going to go out there in a little bit. But the pressure that's been on that man right there, he has stood up to it and stood up to it to perfection.
Oh, man. Look at that. I hear that music. I think I'm at the end of
a
70s
right there.
A 70s personal triumph movie.
It made me
Toyota
want to
Hooked Up here today.
Mercer again for some reason. I'm joking.
No, don't do that. We wouldn't do
Dave.
that for a minute. But man, what a story! You're right. I mean, he doesn't have to imagine about the pressure. He listens to those fans out there, and he knows how huge, how consuming that pressure is out there.
In all honesty, we've talked about different places we've been to that have been out of control. Whether it's been Shreveport, you go up to Wisconsin, a different place that we've gone to, Orange, Texas.
Sure.
I have Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh was out of
control, but what I've seen here,
oh man,
what I've seen here
so far this week, all over everywhere.
Absolutely has been to me, one of the most amazing things I've seen in fishing. Get your mouth off me.
Well, you know, it's something we've always suspected that the bigger the sports town, the better the bass event. Wouldn't you agree with that? And this one, it's what has been so great on so many levels. The fans being, of course, the most visible, the most audible for sure. But this fishery, with all its complexities, is fascinating.
Hey, and I think, look, we heard about everything that was said before we came here, that the fishing was tough. And one of the major reasons why is the tidal waters that live here and live here multiple times a day. And here's a great way to look at this. A lot of places we go, we see a tide swing. A big tide swing would be 3 feet. We are dealing with a 6 to 7. This time of year with a supermoon, you're looking at an 8-foot tide swing, and that has made a whole new playing field than we've ever seen on the Bassmaster.
And you come here with certain expectations about tidal fisheries, but you talk to these guys, and one guy will tell you, I can't catch them on an incoming tide. The other one will tell you, I can't catch them on an outgoing tide. The science is not all settled yet for these guys.
Here's a little bit of the difference here, looking at that water recede right there. A little bit of the difference is, a lot of times that we talk to our anglers, they talk about running the tide. The only master of running the tide in this tournament is the person with experience. The reason why, if you look at Mike Iaconelli, he knows the boat docks, he knows the metal pilings, the barge tie-ups that the fish go to on a falling tide, on a rising tide. A lot of our anglers did not know those little inside structure areas for each tide. Therefore, a lot of our anglers just bunkered into an area and fished.
Absolutely. Case in point, Jason Christie already won once in the Elite Series this year, Lake Dardanelle. He said, I'm not messing with that tide. I'm going to do what I would do in any kind of situation in this sort of water.
Exactly right. You look at Jason Christie right here. He has been covering water in one primary area of the lake, but a lot of our anglers throughout this event, they are thinking about AOY.
That was the goal when I came here. I didn't have any history here. The first thing I didn't want to do was lose ground. But to be able to make up some ground, and have 2 chances left to still make up some points, I mean, that's right where I want to be. I mean, it looks like I'll be 6th or 7th after the event's over with, even if I don't catch a fish. So I'll be 20-something points behind, and that's doable, especially, you know, that last event, there's going to be that's big water, so anything could happen on that last event.
We had some of the old hands in here looking at this footage saying, we can't believe these guys are so far back in these creeks, and sometimes you pay the price.
Here's one of the biggest problems, looking at Jason Christie right here. The last thing you want to do, fighting for valuable Angler of the Year points, having battery trouble out on the river today, got everything switched around. And now, mind you, earlier today, this guy only had 3 fish that weighed, about 3 pounds. Since then, unofficially, he got his boat back up and going. Not only that, has put a solid bag in the boat today.
Certainly on the basis of that win on Lake Dardanelle and everything else he's done this season, he's taken himself from just being a good classic qualifier into being one of those guys who's just 22 points behind the lead in Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year.
I want you to kind of look at right now. You look at Christie right there, solid fish on a buzzbait. Mercer said the loudest buzzbait in the history of buzzbait.
Is it really? Yeah.
Number 1. And the other side of it is, you start to look at our Angler of the Year race that we have going on. Welcome to the gun show, Tommy.
Tighten up big time.
Great
Come on, look at it.
We've got some Aaron Martins. We've got some Christies in there. Skeet Reese making
put himself in here.
Keith Combs. And the biggest thing looking at that going into the final 2 tournaments, absolutely anybody's ball game.
Let's go to yesterday, day number 3 of this tournament on the Delaware River. Here's the favorite, Michael Iaconelli, taking a pretty decent-sized lead into this 3rd day.
Exactly, and there's a look at his primary weapon, a half-ounce homemade jig, had a Berkeley Chigger Craw trailer on the back, and that has been throughout this tournament really his primary weapon. And you look at this area, we saw this fish catch together yesterday. We got to see this. All timing, and you heard him saying decisions all week long. But he was back in an area, caught 2 fish very quick, pulled his trolling motor, left, came to this barge tie-up, and it was absolutely lights out in minutes.
20-pound line brought down to about 6. This jig's being very special to me this week, man. This is a brand new jig I'm helping to design. This is a Berkeley Chigger chunk. Biting it down a little bit. Small profile bait. Real key on this river.
Get out to Michael Iaconelli back in that creek he started in yesterday, a creek that leads back into basically the neighborhood he grew up in as a boy, learning to bass fish. And this is something you say, all these places he knows, this giant database he has, means, among other things, he does not waste time out there.
Exactly right. And he said this is earlier today, he said, really, the first few minutes this morning were critical just to get the momentum going again. That's been critical every day for Iaconelli.
Big one. Oh, big one. Sucked it down with a 3-pounder. Whoa! Decisions, man. Decisions, man. Decisions. Whoa! God, it's all about decisions on this tidal water. Tidal water. 3.5-pound largemouth. Little itsy bitsy jig with that Chigger Craw in the back. Forget about it. Whoa! Look at that thing. What? Look at that thing! Oh my God! Decisions, decisions, decisions. Trust your gut. The biggest lesson I could give people about fishing is trust your instincts, man. It wasn't happening on the main river. Don't stick to your history. Get out of there. I'm shaking like a leaf.
That's the way he started his day today, Michael Iaconelli. I love yesterday when you were talking to him. You said, man, there's a lot of yelling out here among the fans and everything. And they said, man, we just yell all the time.
And not only that, the other comment I made, Mike Iaconelli is actually one of the quieter people in this area. He really
he's
is.
A delicate little flower out here.
That's what you are, my
No,
friend. That's right.
No. Well, let's get out there. Another one of the great success stories here, Shaw Grigsby, who on day number 1 laid down 4 pounds and 2 ounces. He came back with 14 pounds and 15 ounces on the second day.
And that's been a good look right there. Shaw Grigsby said he had to make an adjustment on day 1 to Dave Mercer on stage. Well, he made that adjustment to perfection, but that gives you a good look. When this river is swollen, it almost looks flooded, blown out, but you could see those riffles, how much water leaves, and leaves in a hurry.
Big tide here, and these guys, to watch them deal with it each in different ways, as we saw Christy, Iaconelli, and so forth like that. It's an education for everyone who's really dug into this tournament.
It was, but I want to talk about a couple anglers real quick.
Okay.
You look at Skeet Reese, Scott Rook, Bill Lowen, Kevin Short, guys like Shaw Grigsby. If you look at our grinder tournaments, Arkansas River, Mississippi River, Fort Madison, those guys are always
they pop up
in the top 12. They just understand pressured bodies of water,
current, etc.
Absolutely,
all those things, and the way to pick them off in places where, as everyone said, everyone who lives here says the fish are 99% of the fish are in 1, 2, 3%.
And I'll tell you, if you really look at the anglers in our top 12, they are the best of the best at grinder river tournaments.
I don't feel much like trying to sell people on the fact that there's going to be a big surprise at this weigh-in. I don't really think there is. It's Michael Iaconelli's tournament. We might as well just enjoy it. This crowd is going to be the show well enough, and coming up in just a minute, we've got that tournament going here on Bassmaster.com. But here's another shot of Mike Iaconelli from today. He just pours it on, and it's a thing to watch.
And there's nowhere else for them to go. It's like the last hard thing they've got. Splits this giant eelgrass bud. Perfect spot for when it's a blowout tide, which is what we have. Big one. Whoa! Finally! 3 days! 3 freaking days! Woo! Come right off, too. 2 pound, 2.5 pounder. Two and a half. Big moment right there. Big moment right there for me. That was a big moment. 3 days. 3 days I've hit this place. Finally, one showed up. Well, I'm confident now. This is the kind of place that there's one, there's more. So now I'm going to just slow down a little bit. This is the time to take your sweatshirt off.
Michael Iaconelli on the final day of this first ever tournament on the Delaware River, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and again, it's going to be his day out there in a place that you cannot find a seat right now an hour before the weigh-in started.
No, and trust me, we're going to jump out there in a few
we're going to have
minutes,
some fun with the folks.
And it is going to be. Here's the best way to describe it. It's going to be a freak show again.
You think you'll come back to Philadelphia? I think everybody. Well,
listen,
most everybody loved it.
Here's the one thing I could say is I think we all had a lot of questions coming in. We all have a lot of answers going out of this place. Phenomenal tournament.
All right. We're heading to that crowd. We're heading to this amazing weigh-in moments. Don't go away. Stay right here. Bassmaster.com.
Series on the ESPN News.
All right, all right, all right.
All right.
Is this the place to be?
All right.
Yeah. Man, we are in the middle, the bass fishing universe. The middle of it is right here in the tri-state area in downtown Philadelphia today.
You know,
Would
Tommy
you disagree?
Sanders, let me tell you something, man. There were a lot of questions coming into this tournament. What was going to go on out on the Delaware River? Most of all, what was going to go on at these weigh-ins? When somebody hands me some homemade vino, I love you all. That's all I'm saying, man.
Nobody was ready for what happened here. It's the greatest sports town in America. We should have expected this.
You know, and let's do something. You know what? Real quick, everybody. We're going to do something real quick, Tommy Sanders.
Top five?
You and I have been all around this country to every body of water, and what we do whenever we're doing a Bassmaster studio is when we leave, I'm not going to lie, we talk about y'all. That's right. I threw out y'all right there.
What makes the show?
We talk about the crowd and we talk about the town. So what we're going to give you today, just like an ESPN Sports Center, we're going to give you our top, this is not a joke, our top 5 crowds we have ever hung with. And you know what I'm going to do? All right. I'm going to kick it off.
Okay.
Number 5 was the Bassmaster Classic a few years ago, Shreveport, Louisiana, probably about 20,000 a little bit out of control fans, but the thing was, they came in mass. That's my number 5.
Number 5. Let's go to number 4.
Anybody going to give it up for Shreveport?
Yeah. No. Oh, wow.
They gave it up.
Man, generous crowd here. We went out.
There we go.
Yeah,
we got a boom.
There he is. I knew he was here. Last year, we went to a place so far out in the sticks, nobody thought anyone would show up. Waddington, New York, the Thousand Islands area, Lake Ontario. They showed up 15,000 people and just went absolutely nuts. That's number 4.
Folks, Waddington, anybody there? Anybody give it up?
No. Hate Waddington. They hate Waddington here.
I'm going to go with my number 3, and this one's close to my heart just because we're getting near NFL season, correct? Hold on, we'll get there. Don't worry. Oh, okay, don't worry. We're going to get there too, pal. Here's what I'm going to give you for number 3, close to our heart. One of the toughest events ever. The Three Rivers, Pittsburgh, one of the best crowds.
Oh, man. A lot of people say it was their favorite Bassmaster Classic. A lot of people do. Number 4. This will surprise you. Out in the swamps of East Texas on the border with Louisiana.
Near Dallas.
Near Dallas. Yeah, everybody loves Dallas here.
Right near Dallas.
What? They suck.
Dallas sucks. Dallas sucks.
Yeah. Okay.
Dallas sucks.
All right, that's it.
All right, stop. Hold on. We love Dallas.
There's Orange, Texas.
I'm going to get text when I get out there. All right, hold on a minute. Now, hold on.
Orange, Texas, number 4. Great. It was great.
And I mean this sincerely.
I mean, number 2. Yeah. Now, we're ready for number 1.
Number 1, in 11 years doing this with you, this week, this town, Philadelphia, hands down, the number 1 ever that I have covered with you, Tommy.
Absolutely.
By far.
Through those 11 years, we have covered one angler about as much as we've covered anyone else. The classic champion,
right.
Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Can you tell where I'm going here?
I do. You know what? While we're doing this, give it to me. Give me the eagle while we're doing Ike. Give me the eagle. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I can tell you about Mike Iaconelli. Folks, now I'm going to break it down. I'm going to turn it down a bit here. There is no doubt in the few years that we've covered Mike Iaconelli, Ike and I have had a volatile relationship here and there. The reason why, folks, you put 2 Italian kids in a stressful situation, sometimes things go wrong, okay?
I guess so.
But the one thing I will give you about Michael Iaconelli, there is nobody in this field that loves this sport, and most of all, his hometown, more than that guy. And I'm going to tell you something. It's a true story. I personally thought one of 2 things was going to happen to Mike this week. He was either going to blow their doors out, which may have happened, or Michael Iaconelli was going to have one of the most epic meltdowns ever, and I'm not going to lie, from the TV standpoint, we love
that. Both scenarios.
But no doubt about it, he has shown up in a big way, and He has shown up for you. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for weighing
Tommy,
in.
Can I do something real
Sure,
quick?
do it.
Real quick. Do it. Number one, thank you to all of you all weekend long.
We love y'all. We love y'all.
Usually my partner in crime here, Tommy Sanders, he's the one that shuts it down, or I'm going to shut it down. But today, real quick, all I got to say is, this is the Rodfather, a.k.a. Vinrod. Thanks for watching Hooked Up. Now it's time for the Wire!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand with me as we honor America for the playing of our national anthem.
Single-handedly the most ravenous, lunatic, bass fishing freaks on earth. I'm going to tell you right now, we have been to a lot of places. I've worked for Bass for 5 years. 5 years I've traveled all across this country and emceed tournaments. And if they ever ask me where I want to go, it's right here in Philadelphia. You guys are absolute. We knew you were sports fans, but you guys are fishing freaks. Who is everybody cheering for here today? You know, somebody said to me, if Iaconelli wins, this town is going to flip upside down. And I said, if Iaconelli doesn't win, this town may flip upside down. This is going to be an incredible weigh-in. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you. You guys have made this an absolute party for all of us. And I want to throw a challenge out to all our viewers watching on Bassmaster.com. I want to throw a challenge out. I mean, all these cities we're going to next, the gauntlet has been thrown. Can you beat Philadelphia? What a crowd, what an event we have had here this week. And I mean, I'm not supposed to be at a loss for words, but I am right now. We are ready to weigh some fish. Usually I tell you, you got to make lots of... See, this is bass stock, basically, right here. I mean, I went to a baseball game once, and they did the wave. Let's do it. Let's see you right here. What is your name? Everybody say hi to Ray. It's like a Fishaholics Anonymous meeting, Ray. All right, have you ever seen the wave in your life? Let me see how nobody else do it. Ray, you do it. That was horrible, Ray.
But you are a cheerleader. On the count of three, Ray, we're going to put it all the way across. 1, 2, 3. All right. You people up there, you don't think I can see you? Ray, come on. Ray, tell him to get going.
Let's go!
1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to bring out our tournament director. Give me a little love for Mr. Trip Weldon. Trip, unbelievable. We came here, when this got announced, let's be honest, there were people that said, you're going to Philadelphia for a bass fishing tournament? And all those people are saying right now is, why the heck didn't we come to Philadelphia years ago? I know a lot of people, had a lot to do with this. Let's talk about them.
Absolutely, David. Let me first say that typically our Saturday crowds outdo our Sunday crowds, but man, look at this. This is awesome. Fantastic crowd. Thanks to everybody for being out here. A lot of people to thank. Obviously, Philadelphia Sports Congress, Delaware River Waterfront Corporation, Atlantic Youth Anglers. I want to especially thank manager Todd Pride. He worked diligently to make this happen. All of these booths up here, up at Franklin Arsenal, everybody, he did a great job. Our New Jersey Bass Nation, Bill Tiger, they represented us because the Pennsylvania Nation, they're kind of in western Pennsylvania. Philadelphia PD, they kept us safe. Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, they took care of all these fish, released them back in the river to be caught again. And last but not least, I want to thank the people right here at the Great Clouds at Penn's Landing. You've been a phenomenal staff. Give all those people a nice hand. Now, Dave, you know I'm a college football fan. We don't have pro sports in Alabama, where I'm from. But let me say this. I hope the Eagles stomp the Dallas Cowboys. Now, when I get to Dallas, I'm gonna catch a lot of grief, but that's okay. These guys are great.
They are incredible fans. And I thought about that because we've kind of thrown ourselves out there when we go to other towns, but I'm not really worried because if anybody starts anything with us, we're going to bring our army with us, right?
And I want to say one last thing about Mike Iaconelli. This is a side of Mike that a lot of people don't see. He stood back here yesterday for an hour and a half and signed every single autograph that wanted to be signed. Kudos to him, a fantastic job. And he had a lot of work to do. He had to go home, get his tackle ready. Kudos to Mike.
And Trip, to be pointed out to that fact, that's not something special. Honestly, with Ike, every single tournament we go, no matter where we are, you might think, oh, well, he stuck around because it's hometown crowd. We can be in Alabama, we can be in Florida, we can be in Michigan, and he is always the last guy standing around signing autographs.
He is. All these guys are great. And I asked him 3 or 4 times yesterday, we have to play the bad guy sometime. I said, are you okay? You need me to get you out of here? No, I'm good. He stood there, he took pictures, signed autographs, just a phenomenal job. Kudos to him.
Well, we are going to get ready to weigh some fish in just a few minutes, but, before we can ever weigh any fish, I feel like we have to pay you guys back a little bit. It's unbelievable the job you guys have done. So we're going to have a little bit of a fan frenzy, and how that is, you guys make lots and lots of noise. We're going to throw a whole bunch of stuff out to the crowd. We got our fan frenzy team from Yamaha and Livingston Lures. Before we bring them out, let's give Yamaha thank you for fan frenzy. Let me hear Yamaha. Livingston Lures for fan frenzy. All right, let's crank the music up and get our fan frenzy team to throw some stuff out to the crowd. All right, once again, I want to thank Livingston Lures and Yamaha for our fan frenzy. And one thing I want to touch on before we go any further, Trip. When we came here, a lot of people talked about this fishery. It's an urban fishery. It's in the 5th largest city in America. This biggest population. And everybody, people started comparing it to Pittsburgh, which was an incredible Bassmaster Classic. One of my favorite Bassmaster Classics. But Pittsburgh was won by 12 pounds for 3 days. This is not Pittsburgh. This tournament is going to be won by over 45 pounds here today.
It is, Dave. And I agree with you. Pittsburgh was off the charts, phenomenal. But I said it earlier, and I want to say kudos to B.A.S.S. Way before I started, B.A.S.S was the impetus for the Environmental Protection Agency, Clean Water Act, to clean up these rivers. I said it the other day. 30 years ago, you would not have seen a bass out here. But now across the country, tidal rivers, you go, I'm going to say start here. We know what the Potomac is, over at Chesapeake Bay, down at Richmond, where we've had 3 Bassmaster Classics. Right on down St. Johns River, Lower Mississippi, West Coast, Sacramento Delta. It's the whole food chain. I mean, when you think about a fishery out here, I've had people say, well, I didn't know there were fish out here, but think about the food chain. The tide washes food in and out, and a bass will live. He will almost live in pure salt water, very brackish water, and they're very, resilient. And, they can take tough conditions. I know you guys have ice flows that come down this river, but I think it's been incredible. I think we saw predictions. Some people were saying, hey, it's going to be Pittsburgh. 15 pounds are going to win it, man. No way. I mean, when your boy Duckett weighed in that first day, I think he shocked the world what lives out here, and it's just been a great week.
It has been an incredible week. It has been an incredible week, and it is not yet done here. The crowd keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, I heard this question. Y'all coming back? I don't do the schedule, but if I had to bet, it may not be next year, but I bet real soon B.A.S.S will be standing right here again.
Who wants the Bassmaster Elite Series to come back here to Philadelphia? Well, as Tripp said, if we have a vote in this whole deal, we will be right back here as soon as we can get back here. We're going to show this all around the world. This is going to be on ESPN2. Who wants to be on TV? Now, generally, we go to a whole bunch of towns, and I always say, there's 2 ways to be on TV: be, really good looking like me and Tripp, or be, who's laughing? Or be absolutely crazy. And generally, there's like one lunatic in the crowd. We don't have that problem here. But we've got cameras all around this place. And they're going to be pointing at you right now. I want you to give me 30 seconds of absolute insanity. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Oh. I've been so excited here that All right, I gotta ask you. We know that there's a lot of Ike fans in the house. Is anyone cheering for anybody else? Well, we are just about ready to get this party started, and I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we started with 107 anglers, cut it down to 50, now just 12 remain. In just a few moments, one of them will be crowned a champion. Are you ready? Let's get ready to win! Our first angler, former Bassmaster Classic champion from Gunnersville, Alabama. Get loud for Boyd Duckett. £25 and an ounce to start the day today. Had the biggest bag of the tournament on day number 1. Four fish here today for 8 pounds at 6 ounces with 33 pounds, 7 ounces. Boyd Duckett moves into second place. Boyd, I don't know if you ever grew up wanting to be a professional wrestler, but basically this is what it feels like, okay? Incredible week here this week. Moving into second place right now, but the good news is that you're not going to get booed. Hey man, that is good news. I'll tell you one thing, I'm gonna get about 7 or 8 tour buses, and I'm gonna take Philadelphia with me to the rest of them. I mean, y'all are the best fans we've seen all year. It's been a blast fishing up here. I can't tell you how much fun it's been. It's a great city, a lot of good people. I had fun fishing the river. Fantastic week, man. Just thank y'all so much, and please support bass fishing, and thanks for coming out. Well, before you leave us, Boyd, tell me how you caught them this week. Oh, yeah, something about fishing. I was so impressed with the crowd. I was able to catch some really good fish the first day. I had 3 big bites the second day. I caught those fish offshore, in some of the pockets down the river. There's some offshore grass, and I was throwing a big chatterbait with a big trailer on it, and caught those big fish. I had 5 big bites the first day, 3 big bites the second day. I just weighed one of them, and then all that died yesterday. I went in there today for about 30 minutes, didn't get any bites. I caught my fish just running the river. But there are really some quality fish in here. I was surprised. I didn't know what to think. I've never been up here, but it's a cool fishery, and it's really a fun place to fish. So had a good time. Let's hear it for Boyd Duckett. Congratulations on a great week. You notice our hot seat has remained empty. The reason that is Boyd did not take the lead. The whole plan is to sit in this seat, but our leader still remains Michael Iaconelli. Now I know how Jerry Springer felt all those years. Just please, nobody throw a chair. All right, keep that noise coming from Salem, Virginia. Former Elite Series champion Iaconelli's roommate, the cruise missile, John Cruz. £25 and 4 ounces start today. He's got 3 fish. Looking for 11-13 to take the lead. $11.13 is the number, 25 pounds and 4 ounces. A great tournament here this week. 6 pounds and an ounce with 31 pounds, 5 ounces. The missile moves into third place. Wow, what a week. We knew that coming in here after day number 1, we knew this was going to be a special week, but day after day, it basically blows away all of our expectations. I'm wishing right now this was a 5-day tournament.
I swear this is really, really awesome. And I tell you that there's few things that can make me fish harder than I normally fish. But coming back and knowing that I'm going to weigh in front of an awesome crowd like this, that is definitely going to make me fish all day.
Unfortunately, not going to take the win this week, but a great finish. And if your buddy does his job, you're going to be part of a pretty incredible party tonight, I believe.
Yeah, you could say that the Evan Williams will be flowing like the tide out here on the Delaware River. I can tell you that much.
How'd you catch him this week, John?
I caught him a couple different ways. I had a couple key baits. One of them was a Missile Baits Baby D-Bomb. Pitching that around a lot of shallow cover, and then I was also, today I kind of changed up and caught my fish on a Missile Baits Twin Turbo with a little punch skirt in front of it. So it looks like a finesse jig, but you can put that thing into anything. You can just, throw it over into those broken pieces of barge and just pull it right out, which you can't get some jigs out. So that bait was key for me, and I think I weighed one or two other fish on a chatterbait and a buzzbait.
I want to congratulate you on a great week here. Let's hear it for him one more time. You know and love our next angler, formerly the Bachelor ladies. He's a three-time Bassmaster winner from Boerne, Texas, Byron Velvick.
Awesome. I got to get a picture of this crowd. This is amazing.
5 pounds, 2 ounces today. Going to finish with 31 pounds, 8 ounces and move into third place currently. But looking out at this crowd, tell me what's going through your mind.
Oh, my gosh. This is amazing. Philly, y'all turned it out for this one. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had a videotape, man. Not many times in my life I've videotaped the crowd, or I've never done it before in a tournament in my life. But I had to get this for the rest of my life because this is going to be a memory I'll never want to forget. You guys were awesome. Thank you for coming out, man. I brought some Livingston. Can I throw the baits out? Can I throw some baits out to everybody? I got some Livingston Lure Pro Rippers. Livingston was kind enough to let me throw some baits out, so. I'm going to throw my arm out on that, but those are some Livingston Pro Rippers. Livingston Lure baits are amazing, so you go check them out. They're great. Catch all the fish. It's not Ike, though. It doesn't sound anything like the Ike thing, so I'll take Hollywood and I'll accept it, man. This was a fun week. What a fun week.
How'd you catch him this week?
I was actually fishing some Livingston baits and also fishing some soft plastic baits. I was on one spot. Today, man, all those fish, my fish bit in 30 minutes. I hooked those two, lost 2 more. They went off on this point. But I got to tell you, my Triton boat got me up and down this river. If you guys are looking to get a new boat, buy a Triton because they handle that rough water better than any boat out there with that Mercury outboard. And most importantly, I know my 3-year-old daughter right now is watching me on that little camera right there. So, Camber, I love you. Belinda, I love you. Mom and Dad, I love my family, and I love you guys in Philly. Thank you for having us out. Thank you so much.
Our next angler making his second ever Bassmaster Elite Series, a 12 cut from Holt, Michigan. Give me a little love for Chad Pipkin. Chad Pipkin started the day with 26 pounds and 6 ounces. He's bringing us 3 fish here today. I think they're talking about a strip, that's right. 4 pounds, 3 ounces, going to move into 5th place with 30 pounds and 9 ounces. What a week. You've made 2 12 cuts on the Bassmaster Elite Series, and I'm kind of figuring out what it takes for you to make the 12 cut. The last 12 cut you made was in Waddington, New York, which was our biggest crowd ever. Now you've made the 12 cut in front of our loudest crowd ever. You just love the crowd.
I do. I love the crowd. And I think if I had the money to pay y'all to just follow us around, maybe I'd be a little bit better off. You know, I might make some more cuts. So I appreciate it, guys. It's been awesome. You know, some places fish tough. I tell you what, I take a tough fishing in a crowd like this any day. This is unreal, guys. We love it.
How'd you catch them this week?
Just mixing it up a lot. The first day I had a little better bag, throwing a chatterbait on the outside edges of some of that grass, and it's also a drop shot and a Demiki worm, and throwing a spinnerbait a little bit, and caught a couple on a finesse jig today, just trying to do whatever it takes to get a bite. And it's, you know, when the timing gets right, you can catch them quick, and if you don't catch them quick, you just kind of bounce around and catch one here or there, but it's a lot of fun. It's a very unique fishery, and you know, it's enjoyable to get out there on a place like this. It's an awesome week.
Congratulations on a great week. Let's hear it for Chad Pickens. I know you're going to make lots and lots of noise. He is the 2012 Bassmaster Classic champion, an Elite Series champion from Gunnersville, Alabama. The champ is here. Let me hear it for Chris Lane. Chris Lane started the day with 27 pounds even. He's got 5 fish all alive, looking for 10 pounds and an ounce to load our hot seat. 12 pounds, 14 ounces, a brand new leader in Chris Lane. Chris Lane has 39 pounds, 14 ounces, and is officially leading on Championship Sunday. $39 pounds, 14 ounces, and what a charge you made today, Chris. 12 pounds, 14 ounces on the final day. Going to weigh that for Carhartt Big Bass, 314. And I got a question for you. I know every day you leave, you want to win that tournament. But is there a tiny little part of you that's scared to win this one?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. No, I went out there for the gusto today. I mean, I had nothing to lose, and you know, coming into this event, I said if I could catch 5 fish every day, I'd put myself in contention. And I go back to day 2, and I lost, I didn't lose any fish, but only weighed in 3, so we'll find out if that cost me or not. But all in all, you guys are awesome out here.
Chris, you don't going to go anywhere. You're going to load our hot seat, but you've seen it all. You've done it all in this sport. Tell me what's going through your mind when you look out of that absolute sea of people.
Well, it tells me that bass fishing is very, very strong. You guys got a great river here. You can catch a lot of fish. Go to Bass Pro Shops, get tackle, and go fishing.
Chris Lane going to load our hot seat, kick back, and relax. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to take a drink of water because I need you to make lots and lots of noise because I'm not just going to bring out... All right. Here we go. I'm going to bring out our next angler. He's a former Bassmaster Classic champion, a former Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year from Auburn, California. Get on your feet for Skeet Reese. 27 pounds and 8 ounces to start the day. He's got a 5 fish limit, looking for 12-7 to take the lead from Chris Lane. 7 pounds at 3 ounces, moves into third place with 34 pounds, 11 ounces. A great week for Skeet Reese. Let me hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Skeet, what a week, what a crowd. Incredible tournament. An event where a lot of guys, you know, they said, I don't know if I'm going to catch anything here. You guys proved that there is lots to catch out here. And not only have you put yourself in contention this tournament, but as of yesterday, sitting in third place for Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year with just a few events left to go.
I like the way that sounds, and you know, I've really enjoyed myself this week, and I've learned one thing, that as much as I've traveled around the country, I will say this right now, Philly fans are the loudest, most awesome fans we've been anywhere in the country. Now, I've enjoyed fishing this week. I've burned a lot of fuel in my Ranger and Mercury run up and down this thing, but I got to spend some time with a buddy of mine, and you guys might know him.
And I'm going to bring him out here and see if you can recognize. I think you'll recognize, but I want you all to raise the roof for a good friend of mine, Mr. Roy Halladay.
Doc, great to see you. Two of the best ever to compete in their sports. And Doc, first of all, do you like fishing?
I love it, and this is my reward for the perfect game, was to go fish with Skeet, and it was the best thing that ever happened. We created a great friendship, and it's surreal for me to be here. It's like backwards. I'm in awe, so I'm loving it. And like he said, the Philly fans are the best fans. Before I go, I got to get a selfie with you, though.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. You ready?
Skeet, get in there. Come on.
Come on, Skeet.
For those of you that don't know, now I'm putting myself out in the line here. One of my favorite baseball player of all time right here. One of the saddest days of my life was when he left the city I live in, Toronto. Hey! But when I knew he came to a team that was going to give him a shot to get a World Series, it made it all good. So, Doc, my question for you, I met you years ago at a Bass Pro Shops, and you had full of questions about the sport of fishing. Is this something you want to do in the future?
Yeah, but it's, these guys have been doing it their whole life. I do it for fun, and there's no way I could ever compete at a level like this, but I'll go out and fish in the local tournaments for sure. I'll do it for fun, but I won't ever catch up to him. He'll outfish me any day of the week.
Well, you have one of the best fishing buddies on earth. One more time, let's hear for Skeet Reese and Doc Holliday. He brought some big guns with him, huh?
Yeah, he did.
You're leading this deal. How you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I'm just sitting here having some Diet Mountain Dew and relaxing.
Want me to keep on bringing them out?
Yeah, might as well.
All right, let's keep them rolling through. Our next angler from Mayflower, Arkansas, 5-time Bassmaster winner, K-Pink Kevin Short. $28 even. You may have a brand new Carhartt Big Bass as well. We'll have a look at that. 28 pounds even. We're looking for 11.15 to take the lead. 5 fish, all live. 11 pounds even moves into second place with 39 pounds even. Get loud for Kevin Short, ladies and gentlemen. $39 even, and you move into second place. And this year, when I look at your season this year, for those of you that don't know, I had a tragedy and missed the tournament. House got decimated by a tornado, and we all hard out for you. But when you look at your year, Tripp just said to me, you're in contention to make our top 50 and keeping this Angler of the Year race by missing a tournament. That is incredible.
Well, that was my goal coming. When we came to these last two tournaments, the last two regular tournaments. Of course, every time I put the bass cat in the water, I want to win a tournament. I don't fish for points, man. I fish to win, and that's just the way I am, So, but I really wanted to do really well in this one at Philly. And then the next one, and just make that top 50 and go to the AOY event at Escanaba. And I've spent all week about 30 miles south of here in the back of a little bitty creek, and I have been absolutely amazed that I've been able to go in there and catch fish every single day. And
I've caught them when the tide was coming in. I've caught them when the tide was going out, and just on a couple of real simple little baits, a little Zoom Z-Hog Junior and a little Jewel Magnum casting jig. And I've just been fishing real slow, real methodical, and trying to catch everything that bites. Today I had 5 bites, and I caught 5 fish. Fortunately, one of them was a nice one. I gotta say, how about that Roy Halladay? Huh? Hey, I'm gonna tell you something else. I just met him for the first time backstage, and you know what? He is a really nice guy. You guys are lucky to have him as a former Phillies player. He is a great guy. And speaking of Phillies player, I got to tell you, this is the most fanatical bunch of fans I have ever seen in my life. Holy smokes!
Now, I hate to bring this up, but I gotta. It's my job. You kind of talked about a parade yesterday, and your plans, it didn't work out. Are you going to attend that parade now?
Yeah, I will. I don't have a problem, I got no problem at all. And like I say, man, I love me some Mike. I like his wife, Becky, better. But, Mike's a good guy. I got no problem with that. But, hey, every time I put the bass cat in the water, I want to kick his butt and everybody else's butt. That's just the way I am. Hey, I want to win. All right? I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry about that because it's something you've done many times in your career, and it's something that every one of you wants to do. Let me hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Kevin Short. Chris Lane remains in the lead here, but let's keep on rolling through. A 9-time Bassmaster winner from Gainesville, Florida. Oh, golly, it's Chuck Rigsby! 28 pounds and an ounce to start the day. He's got 4 fish. We're looking for 11 pounds and 14 ounces. 8 pounds of 14 ounces, 3 pounds is short of the lead, but with 36 pounds, 15 ounces. Shaw Grigsby moves into 4th place currently. Shaw, I look at that leaderboard and I look at how your tournament worked out. I mean, if you could have got rid of day 1, this may have been very, very different. You said you made a simple adjustment going into day 2, and that totally changed your fortune. I mean, you were basically, it looked like you were out of this after day number 1, not going to make the cut, but you rallied right back into this and have put yourself right now in 4th place with just a few anglers left to go.
It was a simple adjustment. I tell you, and I've talked about it, I've taught it. I do seminars, sports shows, and I've been doing them for like 30 years, and then I just messed up. I didn't listen to my own advice, but my advice was I was Texas rigging a Rage Bug. So that's a brand new Strike King bait, Texas rigging it, and I had it on a 5/16 tungsten from Eagle Claw and a 7/0 Trocar hook, which was just unbelievable. And then I put it on 17-pound fluorocarbon from Seagar. I'm pitching it, and the dummy me had that weight peg the first day. And when you peg your weight, they bite it, they were finicky, they'd blow it out, or they'd bite it, I'd set the hook, they'd pull the bait off. At the end of the day, I said, that was probably stupid. I unpegged my weight, and the next day it's every fish I caught. And it's been that way since then. I would really like to have day 1 over, but there are no mulligans in fishing. But I can tell you one thing, there's never been a crowd like this. I'm going to tell you something. When you're looking up on the hill, you guys are awesome. Totally awesome. And I'll tell you what, it's great to be here. It's great to fish this tournament. It's something that challenges you, and I always think the greatest thing about bass fishing is that it is a challenge every day. Every day. And no offense to the professional baseball players, and no offense to the rest of them, there's not a sport in the world that has more variables that you have to deal with than bass fishing. And to put it out there on the line, that is a tough body of water, and it's been a lot of fun to go out there and fish. So thank you guys. It's been great being here.
Before this event started, it's pretty publicized. There was a lot of people saying, we're not going to catch any, it's no good. What do you got to say to those people right now? When you look right now, you 36 pounds, 15 ounces? and you're not even going to make the top 5 in this tournament, realistically.
I love this place. I'm just saying, it's fun, it's exciting, and what really is cool is that when you get that bite, it's like, oh yeah, I got one, you know, and then you get another one, and that keeps you're always in the game. I said this yesterday. When you've got a tough tournament, you're always in the game, and that means that you never can let up. You know, in a lot of these slugfests, I worry more about going to a Gunnersville when they're going to whack them, because if you stub your toe a little bit, like I did day one, there's no coming back. You can't do it. Here, you can come back. I like this place. So, and I'm, in fact, talking about coming back, it wouldn't be a bad deal to come back. No, you got definitely. I love this crowd, man. It's awesome. I can tell you what. I can tell you another thing I love is when we're coming back and we got in the river, I sure like running that Triton because that was some serious stuff out there. Every day I get in that TRX, I like it better. That Mercury pushes along great. See you guys, and hi Bryce. Probably Eddie. I know Eddie's out here somewhere probably. Anyway, I'll say hi to Eddie too. But see you guys.
Let's hear it for Chuck Rigsby, ladies and gentlemen. He said something, Trip. He said, you know, you can never let up. There's kind of a famous dude from here who says, never. All right. Hey, speaking of famous dudes, wait, stop production here. We've had Doc Holliday, and I'm going to tell you, when people heard I was coming to Philly, they asked me about one guy. A lot of people sent me on Twitter and stuff, and he's right there. One of your very own, Ed Bassmaster. Let me hear it, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most famous Philadelphians there is. But let's keep on rolling through. Our next angler, one of the most feared anglers on tour. The last 2 times he's made Championship Sunday, he took that title from Park Hill, Oklahoma. Get loud for Jason Christie. 28 pounds and 3 ounces. He's got a 5-fish limit, looking for 11 pounds and 12 ounces. 5 fish, all alive. Going to be released on the Shimano Live release boats for you guys to catch for years and years to come. 28.3 at the start of the day, looking for 11 pounds, 12 ounces, 10 pounds, 14 ounces. Digging deep in that Berkeley Havoc weighing bag, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Yum Mercury Pro, Jason Christie. 39 pounds and an ounce, and not going to take this lead, but with almost 40 pounds of bass, boy, you cannot shake a stick at this week. I mean, you can't be upset with how things worked out.
No, I've had a great week. First of all, the Elite Series travels all over the country, north, south, east, and west, and I don't remember a bigger, wilder crowd than here in Philadelphia, so I appreciate you guys coming out. You know, I had a fun week. I like these grind tournaments, and I didn't run the tide like a lot of guys did. I put a half-ounce booyah buzzbait on, and I put my trolling motor on high, and I covered as much water as I could, and I got a lot of bites. You know, I was just lacking a 4-pounder to but, you know, it's a great week. I caught some fish on the spinnerbait. The key for me was just covering tons and tons of water.
We talked about that this morning. You covered a lot of water. How much water do you think you covered in a day?
Yeah, 6, 7, 8 miles. I mean, once I got in the creek down there, I put the trolling motor down. What I tried to do was ride that tide back in the creek. I'd kind of wait around the mouth, and once that tide started coming in, I would just take off and ride it as fast as I could. What I wanted is that hard and light edge to have a couple of feet of water, not a lot of water behind it, and they would crush the buzzbait. I probably had 15 bites today, but you know they were all the same size. Just a lot of fun. You know, like I said, we go a lot of places that we catch a lot of big ones, but I enjoy these kind of events because a lot of it's mental. You got to stay hooked up, and it was a fun week.
Well, I want to congratulate you on a great week. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Jason Christie. So, Chris Lane, I mean, you've been sitting here for a while.
Yeah, getting by Jason, what a phenomenal angler, and what a job he's done over the past couple of years. You know, #1 in the world. So, Getting by him was pretty good.
You got by him, but there's a few big hammers coming up here. You ready for them?
Yeah, let's just get going. These Philly fans want to see something, don't they?
From Little Rock, Arkansas, former Elite Series Legends champion, get loud for Scott Rook. Scott Rook started the day with 29 pounds and 10 ounces. Looking for 10 pounds, 5 ounces to take the lead here on Championship Sunday. The 7th stop of the Bassmaster Elite Series. And Scott Rook, anytime we go to a river, is in contention. 2 pounds, 14 ounces. Going to move into 8th place with 32 pounds, 8 ounces. But let's hear it for him, making it to Championship Sunday. So unfortunately, on the final day, kind of the wheels fell off out there. Did you run out of fish, or conditions just change on you?
You know, I think I just ran out of fish. I burned them up pretty good yesterday. I caught 11 keepers in there yesterday. I went in there today and the tide was perfect. It was low. I had almost 3 hours to run that low tide like that. I just didn't get any bites. I had one other bite that I know that was a bass, and unfortunately I lost it. And it's the only fish I've lost all week. But I'm not going to complain being here on Championship Sunday. I didn't know if I had enough fish to last 1 or 2 days, much less 4. So I can't complain any. I caught all my fish this week on a 3/8 ounce jewel jig with a Zoom Super Chunk Junior on the back, flipping wood. I just ran from piece of wood in the creek. I ran about a 4 or 5 mile stretch, but like I said, I don't know what happened to them today, but I'm happy. Hey, you guys, we fished a couple years ago at Pittsburgh, and the crowds were really, really big, and they were really loud. But I think you guys have freaking blown them away. I just want to say thanks for having us here, and I hope we come back soon.
Let's hear it for Scott Rook. Our next angler started the day in 2nd place. He is a 6-time Bassmaster Classic qualifier from Brookville, Indiana, Bill Lowen. $30 pounds and 7 ounces to start the day today. Looking for 9 pounds, 8 ounces to take the lead from Chris Lane. 3 pounds and 9 ounces with 34 pounds even. Bill Lowen moves into 7th place. Boom, shakalaka, tiny bass. Sorry, I kind of had to do that, but if your fish are going to get small and you're going to run out of fish, the best day to do it is today, because you know you've had a great tournament.
You know, I've been saying that all day. I'm glad this wasn't the first day or the second day. But you know what? I've had an awesome week. I cannot complain one bit. You know, I got to fish on a river. I'm a true river rat. I got to go up the river with my castaway flipping rod and flip a 4-inch tight lines UV hog with a 1/4 ounce range tungsten weight. And that 1/4 ounce is key because it lets that bait float through the current and makes it look natural. You know, a lot of guys like a heavier weight in that current, but I just think it takes away. So like I said, I got to go fish the way I love to fish. I got to thank all my sponsors because there's no way I could be here without them. You know, Yamaha and Skeeter lets me run up and down this river and get my job done, you know. But like I said, I've never been anywhere where the crowd is more passionate about their city and about their river. And like I said, I'm a true river rat at heart, so I know what it's all about.
Coming into this event, you were the number 2 pick in fantasy fishing. Number 1, that's got to be very humbling. But your knowledge of it, you pride yourself on being a river rat. What was it that allowed you to excel here? What knowledge, previous knowledge from river fishing helped you here?
Well, you know, just kind of growing up on a river, you learn how to read currents. And I don't know squat about reading the tide. I'll just be honest with you. But I know how, when I look at a piece of cover, depending on how the current's hitting that piece of cover, I know where that fish is going to set up, just pretty much by looking at it. And the problem I ran into here this week was that all my fish that I was catching were on the incoming tide. You know, my big first 2 day weights that I had that were really big were on that incoming tide. Well, that tide switched and went on the outgoing. And you know, yesterday my weight was off a little bit, and as you can see today, my weight is really off. And I just never really could catch back up with those fish. I wish it would have stayed on the incoming tide, and might be a little bit different.
I want to congratulate you on a great finish, no matter what way you look at it. Let's hear it for Bill Lowen. Okay, before I bring out our next angler, I'm going to tell you something. As you can hear, I've been getting a little excited this week, and I'm starting to sound like Iaconelli after he wins the tournament. And somebody before I came on stage, they said, will you have enough voice by the time you get to Iaconelli? I said, it doesn't matter, because by the time I get to Iaconelli, nobody's going to hear a damn word that I say. Are you guys ready? Before I ask you guys, hey Chris, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm not going to get to say anything after this crowd erupts, but there's one thing I want to say, and that's thanks to every one of you guys out here.
All right, well, kick back and relax for just 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, originally a member of the Top Rod Bassmaster, the pride of Philadelphia, the 2003 Bassmaster Classic Champion, 2006 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. He grew up in Philly and resides in Pittsgrove, New Jersey. Go Ike for Mike Iaconelli! Get side by side, ladies and gentlemen. Can this dream come true? Starting the day with 37 pounds even. 5 fish. He's 2 pounds, 15 ounces. 10 pounds, 14 ounces. Childhood dreams come true. Right now, in some big high-rise building around this neighborhood, there's somebody saying, I thought you were supposed to be quiet when you go fishing. They never met Mike Iaconelli, ladies and gentlemen. Ike, you grew up fishing this river. We've had a lot of favorites in a lot of different bodies of water, and you know, most of them fished it as they got older. But you cut your teeth as a kid fishing this river. And I'm sure in those days when you stood there, you thought about, wow, one day, maybe one day, I can be a professional bass angler, but probably never imagined you'd be able to do it here. But with all the pressure, all the commitments, you came and you did one of the hardest things of professional fishing, and that is you didn't just beat the home field jinx, you crushed it here this week. Giving you $100,000, a guaranteed berth to the 2015 Bassmaster Classic. Tell me what's going through your mind.
Oh man, this is unbelievable. It's very emotional for me right now. I mean, you know, there's 3 really special things that happened here this week. The first one is to win on a place, the river where I learned how to fish. I ran up the Schuylkill today, and up in the Schuylkill, my uncle and my grandfather taught me how to fish, and I want to thank them guys for doing that. Thank you. I had a lot of people growing up tell me that, a city kid, a kid from Jersey could never make it in this sport. And I want to tell everybody, go for your dreams. You can do it. The other special thing is, where's my wife at? Where's Rebecca? I want to say that we work really hard, the whole family, and it means so much to win and Becky be here and the kids be here and the whole family. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the last thing I want to say is, I won today, not for me. I won for you guys. I won for you. This is your win. This is your victory. This is Philadelphia's victory.
Welcome, Becky Iaconelli and Team Iaconelli. This event here this week, so many people see that one side of Ike. This is a side of Ike that we're all very lucky to share with here today. Before we go any further, tell me how you caught him this week, Ike.
Man, this week, it was all about the tides and having spots on every phase of the tide. Low tide, mid tide, and high tide. It's a very important thing on this river. For sure, the key baits for me was a jig, a little half-ounce missile jig. I'm working on it with Johnny Cruz. Key bait for me this week. The other one was a Havoc Pit Boss, 3/8-ounce VMC weight, 5/0 VMC hook. I tried to fish in and around the cover, and that's where they live. I caught the fish this week out of the nastiest stuff you could imagine. Shopping carts, drains, barrels. I caught him at a Philly cover and got him out. And just a phenomenal week. But having places on every tide was key. And man, I want to thank all my friends real quick. Brian Stockel, Pete Glusick. Pete, I love you, man. I love you like a brother. A lot of guys that gave me guidance over the last 20 years on fishing in this river. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, it's time to make this. Before we make this official, let me go over. What do you guys think of this?
It's amazing. This is awesome. It's amazing to be home for this, but we've been out here a long time, and to have a win is just, man, it's the icing on the cake. It's amazing. Awesome.
All right, let's make this official, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome our tournament director, Mr. Trip Weldon, out to do the handoff. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dreams do come true. Your 2014 Bassmaster Elite Series Philadelphia champion, Mike Iaconelli! Mike Iaconelli, your 2014 Philadelphia champion. That right there is what makes Mike Iaconelli in the crowd with his trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is officially what you call going Ike. Let's hear it for Mike Iaconelli and Team Iaconelli. Where we get to kick this party off, really. That what we just saw there is officially you going Ike. But one more time, any last words you want to share with this incredible crowd and this incredible accomplishment?
Last thing I want to say, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. This is the most unbelievable crowd I've ever felt. I've never felt that kind of energy. It can only happen right here. Thank you, guys. Thank you! Thank you!
The greatest bass fishing crowd in the history of the sport meet one of the greatest champions to ever hit the water. Your 2014 Philadelphia Bassmaster Elite Series champion, Mike Iaconelli. 2 pounds, 15 ounces. 10 pounds. On behalf of the entire Bassmaster staff, we want to thank each and every one of you single-handedly.